Hey everyone, welcome back to the live stream tonight. We got some more questions that have been answered on the YouTube channel. So that any of the comments you guys make or questions you ask, I'm starting to go through those and chop through those questions. And what I'm doing is I'm putting them into a new forum that we have. So if you go to vanbuilderhq.com and you click on forum, this is a new forum that we have with questions, it's just a space that I'm using to answer the questions that you guys have, not only on YouTube, but the comments, questions and emails, questions from past customers, clients. So it's just going to be a place with a bunch of information. And this is created because it is part of the new camper van conversion blueprint course, which is out now. So you guys can purchase this course. We did an official launch 2 days ago, but every day we're going to be going over not only the course, let you know what's in the course if you guys are interested, but we're also going to talk about new questions that are in the forum. So real quick, if you guys don't know about the camper van conversion blueprint, it is a DIY van build course that I've been working on over the past year. And it has a ton of stuff in here. So everything from getting started, how to choose your van, design and layout of the van, off-grid power system design, fresh and gray water storage, insulation, sound dampening, exterior upgrades, and the private online community, which is the forum. So when you purchase this course, you're going to get access to the forum. And you'll be able to ask me questions in the forum as part of the course. So the forum that is online, this will just be viewable, but to people that buy the course, you get access to asking me questions directly on the forum itself. So let's take a sneak peek inside so you can expect to see what's inside the course. So this is a behind the scenes look at the course. It'll look a little bit different when you purchase it. But over here on the left, we have different modules to learn from. And so all the videos right here, the one at the top of each of these modules is exclusive to the course. So you're not going to find this information anywhere else. Not only that, but the lectures have the PowerPoint with them. So you can pull up the PowerPoint, make notes yourself as you watch the video. The PowerPoint presentation is what I'm referencing as I go through teaching you guys about whatever topic. And then if there's some supplemental information, tools, or resources, at the bottom here we'll have those. For example, this is an exclusive video only available in the course, and it's a video doing a real-life walkthrough of inspecting a used van before buying it. So when John and Susan reached out to me to build their adventure van. They had originally wanted to look at a used van and see if it was something they could buy and then customize after the fact. And I said, let me look at the van real quick for you just to see what you're getting into. I don't want you purchasing something that when we go to customize it, the van is not in the best condition for you to do that. And so what I did is I went up to check out the van, and I decided to film the whole entire tour and show you what I was looking for. So I'm not going to spoil it too much, but if you purchase the course, this is a start to finish video of a whole entire walkthrough and inspection of a used van. And then at the end, you can get to see my thoughts about it, which is, I think it's a great video. And again, it's just a great part of the course because it's guiding you to help you start that DIY van build journey. So first thing, obviously, you need to choose a van. Then you'll go into figuring out the design and layout, how you want to build out your van. And then each step you see, we step 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is just guiding you through the process. It is recommended kind of going in that order, although you don't have to. And for example, the power system design, this is one part of the module that has just a ton of information. So not only does it have the exclusive video right here, but what I do is I organize all the supplemental information which is basically videos and knowledge that I've done in the past, and I put it all in one place so you don't have to go run around and find it. All right, so that's a quick overview of the course and what to expect when you purchase it. If you'd like to purchase the course, I do have a discount code. So let me put that discount code in the chat. If you're watching live, you get 20% off for joining the live stream and checking that out. So I'm gonna put the link in here really quick. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, and then by the way, if you guys have any questions, DIY van build related, put that in the chat and I'll answer it for you guys tonight. All right, so this link going in the chat, that gets you 20% off the course. Visit that link and you can save some money. The course is very in-depth. I added up all the hours of lecture and footage that is in the course, and it's 43.5 hours. So if you guys want a deep dive into anything that I'm doing, the course is the thing to get. And check it out. Link is in the description below. All right, so there's the link. So next, what we're doing in these live streams is I'm updating the forum. This is the forum, again, that you're going to have access to when you purchase the course. And so I'm updating it with all the questions that we've had over the years. Really good questions that have come to us through comments or just direct questions from the YouTube channel. So we're going to go over 4 of them today. And the first one that we're going to go over has to do with, it's a part of the Ford Transit van that, it's an interesting part. It is the rear wire harness that you're going to disconnect in order to either have room for wall panels or just to get that upper wire out of the way. So in the forum, as you can see, this is the question. Right here. The question that was asked is the Ford Transit rear wire to the driver's side taillight included in the extended harness that goes to the ground? I'm extending mine, but struggling to get enough slack from the taillight cables. Any advice? So I do fix the question a little bit for it to make more sense, so it's not vague when you guys see the question. And so basically what they're talking about is this video. So when I go to answer these questions, so down here's the answer. So when I answer the questions, I reference and put the link to the video and actually who asked the question. So you can actually click on the video, it'll pop up, and you can have a reference for what we're talking about. So the wire that we're talking about is over here on the left-hand side, and there's 3 ground wires that ground the rear pigtail wiring harness for the tail lights, reverse lights, third brake light, that sort of thing. And why you would want to remove this is because up here, see this big wire? So this big wire harness right here, it gets in the way when you are installing wall panels, and you need to take the pressure of it so that you can extend it forward up, and you need to be able to extend it from where its current position is here. So that's where it is currently. And we need to move it up here in the ceiling so it's out of the way. So in order to do that, down here at the bottom, you have these 2 wires. The wire down here with the 3 terminals on it, that is bolted into the chassis of the van. So we unbolt those 3 bolts. And then this wire connector over here on the right-hand side, or just above it, that is connected to the switch over here on the left-hand side, where this little pocket is. Some vans will have this switch, some won't. It just depends on the options that you have. But it all needs to be disconnected, and don't worry about this plug. Most people that are doing a DIY van conversion are not using their cargo lights that came factory with the van. They're typically putting new LED lights in there and putting it on a new circuit. So for that reason, you know, this part of the pigtail just kind of gets taped and pushed away into here. You know, maybe it's behind some insulation so it doesn't rattle. But what's most important is these 3 ground terminals. If you don't ground these properly, they're very easy to ground. All you're doing is putting them together, putting a bolt through it, a new terminal lug, 6-gauge wire, and kind of just extend it and ground it to the chassis again. But don't forget to, when you take this off, put it back on before you start the van up. I've had issues where I have goofed and I forgot to reconnect it. And when I forgot to reconnect it, the interior cargo lights, the door chime, and the map lights, or like the lights that come on like when you open the door, courtesy lights I think it's called. They look like some of them are shot. It's because for some reason Ford is grounding them all the way at the back of the van. I guess that's just how they had to do their wiring scheme. Yeah, but these 3 wires, once you disconnect them, go ahead and reconnect them before you turn the van back on or crank the engine, just so you don't have any of those nuisance faults like I did, or that I created. So once you do that, extend it with a 6-gauge wire. I don't know if I do it in this video. But pretty much these massive cables right here, this is what you're trying to ground again. So what I've done is up here at the top, I've disconnected these white plugs, these white wire plugs from the LEDs. I've electrical taped them, and then they'll be pushed up and out of the way. Let's see here. I don't think I go over any, let's see if I go over any more. Okay, so this is a good view. So these 3, hopefully you can see that where my mouse is right here in the bottom left. So these 3 bolts are what you're going to want to undo. Be very careful. If you drop them inside that quarter panel, it is almost impossible to get them out, even with like a magnetic bolt finder. So just take them out easy. Don't drop them. All right, so that was the answer to that question. That question is right here. So I just talked about Ford Transit ground wires, how to extend the loop. And then I also said, depending on your van's year, the rear-mounted light switch, it might be an option, it might not be an option. But yeah, that's an example of a question that I answered today from this video. All right, we got 3 more. And feel free to ask any question that you have other than what I'm doing tonight. I'm just going over 3 more questions. So the 3 more questions I'm going to answer on the live stream is, what is the correct way to apply Teflon tape to threaded pipe? I'm going to go over, is it possible to build cabinets and counters using wood glue, brad nails, and then adding screws? Why is the water pump moved so far away from the water tank? So let's go down to the next one. The question was, what is the correct way to apply Teflon tape to a threaded pipe? Should it cover all threads, and how many wraps are ideal for secure seal? And I did clean this up right here where it says like how many wraps, just for the question to make sense. So what they were asking is, so here's the video to reference. So you can just click on the video. This is the video that's being referenced. And the question was, when I take the Teflon tape, and by the way, if the tape says PTFE on it, it's the same thing as Teflon. PTFE is the technical name. Teflon is the generic, what we all say, kind of like Xerox copies, that sort of thing. So when I wrap this plug, what I did was I put like a little how-to guide So make sure that it's clean, start at the base, wrap 3 to 5 layers, that sort of thing. In this video, watch the video and you'll get what I'm doing. But typically when I put this, I'm not only doing the Teflon tape, but I'm also doing it's a company called Rector Seal, and it is a soft set, food safe pipe sealant. And what I do is I do 2 to 3 reps of the Teflon, and then I put 1 ring of the soft set on there, and that allows me to make sure it's a good seal. And the reason I do that as a backup is because technically you shouldn't use metal fittings on plastic tanks, but with what's out there and what's available to us, I like the metal drain plugs, because if you're putting a water hose off and on the plug, you got a lot of wear and tear on there, and if it's plastic, it's just not the best thing, I think. That's just my opinion. But when you do use a metal fitting, you got to be very careful not to over tighten it, because it will split the plastic. Whether the plastic is, if it's in a hot environment and you go to tighten it really tight, if you get up to colder temperatures, that tank is going to contract and put even more pressure on the threads. So I would say just kind of use common sense on it, but I know a lot of people actually, maybe they've never done plumbing before, so I completely understand if it feels kind of foreign. So I just answered that question with a couple steps, and then what I did was I went down here to the bottom and just did a little reference, kind of my 2 cents, where I said, if you are using soft set sealant, reduce it to 2 to 3 wraps. Be very careful if you're doing plastic tanks with metal fittings, and don't be too aggressive with making it tight. So what you're going to have to do is, as a DIYer or anybody that's watching this video, you're just going to have to learn what works. So you're going to need to take your tank, put your drain fittings on, fill it up with water, and see if the tightness and what method that you did, if that is contributing to a leak, or you actually did it to where it doesn't leak. So that's what I did. I learned by trial and error, and I found out how tight I need to make it. So I'm not over tightening it, but at the same time it's tight enough so that when the soft set and the Teflon and all that work together, it seals it. So that's the answer to that question. All right, we got 2 more. And for you guys that are watching, remember you can ask any question while I'm doing the live stream. Next question is it possible to build van cabinets and counters with glue, or wood glue, brad nails, and adding a few screws for extra strength? What are the pros and cons of this construction method? So Rod asked this question, and the short answer is, yep, you can use wood glue, nails, and extra screws for strength. But I want you guys to focus on reinforcing the joints. And the video that we're referencing here is this one. So this is when I did a live stream, and this is Brian and Robin's adventure van. And what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that there's a box that I built, and I needed the box to slip inside the 2 pieces of the heavy-duty drawer slides. And so, but I needed this box to fit in between the drawer slides. The drawer slides were a fixed width because the cabinet was made by another manufacturer, and I couldn't change it. So not only did the box have to fit, but then I wanted to make sure an induction stove fit within the box. So the thickness of the plywood that I used was 1/2 inch. And then I used wood glue, brad nails, and then what I did is I took angle brackets and reinforced the inside. And so Rod was asking me, is that suitable for building a cabinet? My recommendation would be to use Craig screws when you can. However, the Craig screws in this situation would have looked really nasty. It would have had these big cutouts of like, 2-inch angled drill holes all throughout it. It wouldn't look good. It'd look like a mess. It'd be strong, but it would look like a mess. So what I did is I ended up on the inside here reinforcing it. So what I was doing here, you don't see the reinforcements right now because I'm drilling the holes and I'm having to take the box in and out so that I can match it up with the heavy-duty drawer slides. But if we fast forward, I'm not sure if I do it in this video or another video. Okay, so I must do it in another video when I do the reinforcements. But that question came about when I was building this box. He was wondering, how do I support this box more than I did with just the wood glue and pin? I use pin nails. I will say pin nails and wood glue, if you do it right and you clamp it, I mean, it is incredibly strong. So, that is, yeah, that was a quick answer to that. I'm wondering if I have the other. Yeah, so this was the original question. Can you build cabinets and countertops that way? Wood glue, brad nails, and some screws. And then when I put the answer in here, that's what I get. So Rod, thank you for that question. Everyone that comes in on the channel, you guys always have really good questions. And yeah, I'm finally getting to knock them all out now that I got the course finished. I can get back to these questions here. All right, so we got those knocked out. Let's go to the next one. So this question is, why is the water pump mounted so far away from the tank and hot water heater in this van build? Does this affect performance or installation efficiency? And the video for referencing this question was, I did another live stream, and this is Brian and Robin's van. And if you see, the water pump is in their kitchen galley, and the water pump is not near the water tank where you would typically think that that's where it needs to be. Well, you don't have to put the water pump right next to the water tank. Again, even though technically, by the book, you want the water pump closest to the source as possible. We're in a van. We're not, trying to pump a river or anything like that. So moving it 3 or 4 feet away from the water tank is okay. Where a pump starts to have problems is the how high it is from the intake. So I'm going to back out. I'm actually going to go into a, let's see, where is that sea flow? So this is the pump that I use right here. So we're going to look up this exact pump, 42 series sea flow. Pump manual. Okay. I didn't plan that. That box was right there. That was actually pretty cool. Okay, so let's look at this manual right here. Oh. And we're going to go look at stuff like this. I wish I had, let's see if I can do some highlighting. Got this fancy drawing pad right now. I'm trying to see if I can change the marker. Okay, I'll have to do that later. If you guys can see right here with my cursor, so I'm looking at where it says setup. There we go. Okay, so it says setup. The pump may be positioned, may be mounted in any position. If mounted vertically, the pump head should be in the down position to avoid leakage into the motor casting in the event of malfunction. Secure the feet, but do not compress them. Over tighten the screws may reduce their ability. Okay, so it can be mounted in any position. And if you guys don't know, you probably know this, but you can search PDFs by doing Control F. So click on it, do Control F, and I'm going to type in height. So it doesn't come up. Let's see, what else would they say? Maybe vertical. Vertical? No. Anyway, we got to look for height. Oh wait, here's some more. So let's type in mounting height. There you go. Priming, so priming capability, not height, but priming capabilities. Okay, so when you look here, this is, here's the technical stuff you need to learn about when you're buying stuff for your van. So priming capabilities, 6 feet suction lift. So it is rated for up to 6 feet. That means you can have the pump 6 feet above, and when they say priming capabilities, that means if there's air in the line and you turn the pump on, the pump can overcome the air in the line and create enough priming or suction to draw the water up the pipe. Once you pass 6 feet, it's going to sputter and it might not prime. So the 6 feet is the height. Let's see here. So that answers the question. This other stuff I'm just showing you. Max amp draw is 15 amps. Fuse needs to be a 22.5. So 25 amp fuse would be okay for this. And then, like if we look at these applications, for example, ours is the 5542. Yeah. So this is ours. Just saying 4 gallons per minute, 13 amp max draw, shutoff pressure is 55 psi. And all those numbers, what they tell you is they tell you how the pump functions and what its features are. I like this pump specifically because I don't use this pump with an accumulator, and I've never had a problem of it, water hammer or anything like that. It has a nice ramp up, ramp down, Just a really good pump. All right, what is next? Oh, Noah's got a question. So Noah says, this may be asked already, but is the course geared towards 80-20 building, struggling with hinge ideas in most spots? So the course isn't, let me zoom up here. So the course isn't based on only 80-20 construction or wood construction. What I'm showing you is specifically design layout, where things go, products to use, because if you want to use 80-20, that works. If you want to use wood construction, you can do that as well. But for the 80-20, I know exactly what you're talking about with the hinges. I think I answered one of those questions on the forum the other day. Yeah, if you're using 80-20, it might be good to here. Let me go to. So I'm going to go to the actual 80-20 website. I'm going to type in hinge. So if you're using 80-20 and if I'm getting off topic from what your question is, just kind of ask me another question in the chat. But 80-20 does have specific hinges that keep that offset of the hinge and like the 15 series 80-20 correct, so that it's not kind of weird. But what I do, so one module that's going to be a bonus module that I'm working on adding is going to be the upholstery one. So that one was not part of the original course, but I want to add it just as supplement information. And so the reason I'm bringing up upholstery is the way that I do my 80-20 works or builds is I do the 80-20 as the frame, and then I take Baltic birch or half-inch plywood, I wrap it, and then I bolt that plywood to the 80-20, and then typically the plywood is actually what holds the drawer hinges and the like the clasp that hold the door, like the slam latches. So the wood's actually doing all the work. The 80-20 is just mainly there for the frame. Now when I did Thomas's van, so Thomas's van, let's see, this actually might help you. Let me find the video. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna find that video, Noah, give me 1 second. So let me wrap this question up here on the forum. Yeah, so that was the water pump I used, and if you can keep the water pump as close to the water tank, that's the ideal world. And yeah, keep the pump as close, but don't worry about moving it because you can move it. Every van's different. Feel free to move the pump. As long as it's not 6 feet too high, it should operate normal. All right, back to Noah's question. Yeah, so most of the time I'm using standard hinges. You know, I'm using cabinet hinges from Lowe's. I'll go to Lowe's and I'll get a cabinet hinge. For my drawer slides, I'll go and use, drawer slides at Lowe's are terrible. The hinges at Lowe's are okay because they're normal cabinet hinges. They're pretty heavy duty. But the drawer slides, that's where you want to go to. Where did I get those? let me see if I got that in the shop. I got them from, so BLUM, Blum hinges are the high-end, really nice ones. But there's this new, it's not a new company, but there is a woodworking company that made their own version of Blum drawer slides, and they're really good. Trying to think what the name of that company is. After getting done with the 2 Vanbuilders this year, my shop is, it's all flipped around. So this is, what is that woodworking company? Woodworking, let's see, what is the name of it? Rockler, there you go. Okay, so Rockler is what I use for the drawer slides. So let me, here, I'll show you. Let me sign in here. Oh, you said Blum in the, yeah, you said Blum. Yeah, let me go to my history. Okay, so the 18-inch Rockler, here, I'll send you a link in the chat. Okay, so these are the undermount drawer slides that I use. They're awesome. These things are awesome. When I first thought about doing this, I thought they were really hard to install. To be honest, undermount drawer slides, in my opinion, are easier. They make more sense because when you're putting them in your van, you can drill them into that wood, or you could bolt them to 80/20. You could do that too. I'm not sure how soon you're going to be working on your van, but in a month or so, I may be working on redoing my van, and I have a 80/20 frame that I fabbed up, but it's just sitting in the corner, and I'm going to put drawers in it and stuff like that. So I'll use the method of taking these undermount drawer slides. I will drill this out and bolt it to the wood panel, and then the front face, I'll just do a face frame bolted to the 80/20, and then the drawer fronts will attach to my drawer boxes. So, so Noah, the content you're trying to find is this is what you're looking for. You would be interested in my videos on John and Susan's build. So go to Vanbuilder HQ, go to live, and then just look for green. So anything that's green painted, like this one, for example. So this, you can see, I'm not using a Ford Transit. I'm not using 80/20. I'm just using wood. This is a wood cabinet I built from scratch in the shop on the table saw, and I used glue and Craig screws to bolt the whole thing together. And see, here is those drawers. So they're just screwed straight into the Baltic birch. I do recommend using Baltic birch. I would not recommend using plywood from Lowe's. Don't do that. Baltic birch has, the hardness is what really holds the screw in the wood. The stuff at Lowe's is just too soft to for a van build per se. Let's get to Vespa here. Building out a Ford Transit, need to secure 3 captain chairs in the back. Your thoughts on a smart floor versus bolting down the appropriate L-track? All right, let me send this link here for Noah. Yeah, so Noah, check out the builds here. And I think that will, like this video that I just put in the chat, that'll help guide you in if you want to do maybe wood versus 80-20. But yeah, I'm going to be doing live streams every day. So if you want to come into the live stream tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, bring me some more questions. I'll help you with any questions you have. Okay, so I'm just going to pivot here to Vespa's question. The question is about smart floors, bolting them down with versus bolting them down with the appropriate L track. So my opinion on that is the smart floor is really good. One, if you have the budget, and two, if you don't really care that much about your floor being insulated. Regardless of the air gap or whatever they say when you have that aluminum floor glued in, it's still not going to be as insulative as if you have actual foam underneath there. As far as so smart floor is good, again, if you're not using your van, if you don't care about the cold floor being a thing. So smart floors, if you have the budget, it's pretty straightforward, ready to go to put chairs in. Now, what I've done on customer vans when I'm doing L-track installs is typically the L-track would be only if my customer wants to be able to move the chair to a different location in the van. If we've already built the van out and we got the bed system, kitchen galley, and there's a fixed location for the chairs, what I'll do is I'll through bolt the chairs to the chassis, and I don't use L-track. I just find the spot where it's going to live, and I bolt it through the chassis, and that is where it stays. And what I do is I bypass the insulation and everything so that when I put the chair in, it's metal to metal. And that's, for me, that's just safety. But if you wanted to, you could kind of have like a hybrid where you put the L-track in as long as you know how to bolt it in safely. Usually have my drawing pad set up. But yeah, let me know if that answers your question. I'm gonna get my little drawing pad out, and if you want to go a little bit deeper, I can sketch out what I'm talking about for you. This is good, guys. The more questions, the merrier. That's what the live stream's for. It is to answer your questions. And also introduce you to the DIY van build course. So, so while you guys are thinking up some more questions, I'm going to plug in this little pad that I got here. Believe it or not, the L-track supplier that I use, there's a company, it's US Logistics, what is the name of this? Cargo Control? US Cargo Control, let me see. Let me figure this out. So if I need, and this is not sponsored or anything like that, but if I need like legit stuff I go to U.S. cargo control. What I mean legit is specifically the L-track the accessories. So I don't like buying these accessories off of Amazon. I like buying them off of U.S. cargo control. For L-track, that's not a safety device like a seat. It's more for like hanging backpacks or something like that. I'll go and buy the L-track off of Amazon. But if I'm using it for a seat or something more serious, I'll go to U.S. cargo control and I'll look at this. The one that I like to go with is, it's called a aluminum flanged airline style track. And the reason is it's flanged right here. So be careful when you're ordering the L-track. Not that it's not safe, but if you buy the standard, you're gonna get something like this. And it's got a big, see, it's a big hump. So when you put it on to your plywood floor, you're gonna have this big old hump that you're gonna trip over, or you can't move stuff over easily. So my opinion is you don't want this. You want the recessed track. Because the recessed track is gonna give you that ability to embed it. And so my recommendation is, see, it's 0.48, so it's almost right at a ½ inch. So what I would do on this is, below this floor, I would do my ½ inch flooring, and then what I would do is I would router out that ½ inch, or you could just cut it out with a jigsaw before, you know. But what you want to do is you want this metal L-track to touch the metal of the chassis of the van. That's the goal. That's my personal opinion, because you want the bolt that goes through here, that grade 8 bolt, automotive grade bolt, to come through, mount the metal to metal underneath the van, have those two things bolted together, and that way you know it's a true connection. I've seen so many vans that shows that they just take a couple of wood screws and drill the L-track into the van floor, or they'll take sheet metal screws and drill the sheet metal screws into the van chassis. To me, that's a no-no, because when you use a sheet metal screw, the part that taps the hole, the hole is actually too wide. So the sheet metal screw is actually kind of barely holding. It's great for, you know, like a tin roof or something like that, but for holding seats in a van, that's not safe. So what I do is I put a bolt through here. The only downside of the bolt is that you know, it will have a hump on the inside, but you can easily just move the chair over it, just kind of plan accordingly. Long story short, make sure it's metal to metal and kind of go from there. And let me, here, I'm going to put this link. Put this link here into the chat. And I'm also putting a link to the camper van course that I just put together. So this is a 20% off coupon for the DIY camper van build course. So if you need some help guiding you and you want to go through that course, I've got a little behind the scenes here, just real quick, that I'll show you. So when you get into the course, it'll look kind of like this, but basically we're going through these modules. So we've got a course introduction, And then I have these lectures that walk you through all these parts of the van. So how to choose your van, whether you're buying new or used, design and layout, how to design your van that's going to fit your needs, but do it efficiently so that you're not doing a layout that's not going to work. You don't want to get yourself in a situation where you work on like the bed and the kitchen galley and you don't plan out for other accessories, and then once you get to a certain point in your build, you're not able to fit those in your van. So we go over that. We do a deep dive into flooring install. And then I have a 6-part series down here from John and Susan's van build. And this breaks out all the details of the flooring. I even go through, there's actually 4 holes in this flooring. And this pertains to Vespa's question, but I show you how to plan for those grade 8 bolts coming through the floor. So what I do is I draw with a marker kind of where I'm laying those out. I pre-drill those holes and have it come up through the wood floor. And then when I go to do my lawn seal marine vinyl, I know where I'm going to come up through the floor and pierce the vinyl, but do it neatly so I don't tear it out. So that can be helpful just to think about the L-track as well. But yeah, these are good questions because I may add, I do have videos on L-track on the live stream from past videos, but it's kind of buried, in the hundreds of live streams I've done. So tonight, I might kind of resurrect those. I might go find them and do like a detailed L-track video. It sounds like you guys have a lot of questions on L-track that I'd like to use, what I recommend, how I recommend installing it. Some other parts of the course, insulation and sound dampening. Now, as you see here, there's always a video at the top. This is an exclusive video that you can only get through the course, and it's exclusive lecture going through some stuff that is not available on the channel or the live streams. We also go through off-grid power system design, and then I've got a lot of breakout videos of installing shore power, solar power systems, wire crimping, all that good stuff. And then got fresh and gray water systems, showing you how to do plumbing, and then ending with exterior accessories. So that is the course in a nutshell. And if you guys are interested, all you got to do is go to Camper Van or Vanbuilder HQ, click on course, and you can go ahead and purchase it today. Don't forget, there's a link in the chat for 20% off because you guys are checking out the live stream tonight. All right, enough of that. Do you guys have any more questions on the L-track or cabinets or hinges? I'm gonna see if I can find, there's one, I'm gonna try to find that L-track video while we're letting the stream get some questions coming in. Let's see if I can find some more videos. Let's see, I did have the support mounts for the flooring I did on the Ford Transit Adventure van. So I think I got them right here. Okay, Vespa, if you're still on here, this is, if you can see down here at the bottom of the van, I have insulation, but there's these aluminum runs. There's two right here, and then there's one right back here. And what they're doing, these are two aluminum, 1-inch square tube aluminum bars, is they are making sure that when I mount the drawer slide later in this build, that when I compress the grade 8 bolt to mount the drawer slides, which would be the same thing as L-Track, it doesn't compress the foam insulation. It keeps it rigid. So if you still wanted to insulate the floor and then you wanted to use the half-inch floor, like another half-inch up, that would be kind of a method to do. All right, guys, I'm going to hop online here real quick and show you one more free item that I've got. That is the DIY Vanbuilder cheat sheet. So if you guys are looking for products that I use in the shop, what I've done is I've created this DIY Vanbuilder cheat sheet, and it has over 250 items that I've bought on Amazon that have been shipped to the shop, and they're what I use. So there's all kinds of bolts, nuts, a lot of 80/20 hardware mounting, so like stainless steel bolts and fasteners for the 80/20. It's got lots of fuses, it's got solar panel, Renogy components, yeah, just a lot of parts that I've bought in the past for the vans. It also has a list of tools that I use. And so over here in another live stream, I'm gonna get to these tools. So we'll do a different live stream for this, but I've got hydraulic crimpers for the wire lugs that I use for doing the really like big, 2-aught, 4-aught cables. So we'll talk about that in a different stream. But yeah, besides the course, this is something that I think would help you guys in the short term. Just getting this and checking out the products that I have. Again, yep, if you want a deeper dive, the course is now officially out. All right, guys, if we don't have any more questions, I'll be on here for about 1 more minute to see if anything comes in. Awesome questions tonight. Look forward to seeing you guys hopefully tomorrow with some more questions on doing a DIY van build. I'll be happy to answer those questions, so bring them on. In the meantime, make sure you guys are subscribed, like the video, share this video to anybody who is doing their own DIY van build and is looking for a channel that gives a bunch of tips on how to build your DIY van. Yeah, and we'll have some more stuff coming out. I've got more questions that I'll be answering tomorrow in the live stream, so look for 5 more questions that have been asked by you guys on YouTube, getting answered and being put in the forum. There we go. There we go, Vespa. Thoughts on headliner shelves? Seems like they might get in the way of airbags. Good point. Do I have a video? Nice. I got a video on that. I think that should be my slogan. I need a T-shirt that says I've got a video on that. I know I have a video that I'm working on that. Let me see if I can find one. So while I'm looking for this video, I'll answer your question. So on a Ford Transit, the airbag is right over the door frame, and the airbag blows down, and the grab handle is right here, and the mount for the shelf is right here. So as far as I know, I don't see how it interacts with the airbag. Just the way that the airbag is mounted and the way it deploys. The one thing I will say about headliner shelves is that they need to be light, because the grab handle, you use 2 of the bolts to install the headliner shelf. One bolt is a threaded bolt into sheet metal. The other one is just a decorative screw. It's just a screw that holds the upholstery up. It doesn't actually, it shouldn't be used for weight, but I know a lot of people that buy the headliner shelves, they make the mounting bracket to use that. So that is just an insider's. Okay, I don't think this shows. Maybe. Let's check out this one. Guys, there's thousands of hours of videos that I've done on this channel. So if you're new to the channel, go to the live stream tab and dig through those videos. The finished videos, I don't have so many finished videos. I have hundreds of live stream videos. So videos like you're watching right here. So Vespa's question right here is, see if I can get out of the way of the camera. Okay. Man, how can we, I can't zoom in. So we're looking right here. This is where we're looking. So the airbag is, I don't think it affects it, because this right here where the handle is, the shelf is, that's where the mounting locations are, the shelf is always above the airbag. Let's see. Yeah, so the airbag, I don't know if you guys can zoom in and see that. This is where the airbag is. So the shelf is up here. So they're separate. So when the airbag deploys, it blows out this bottom piece of the foam. And the shelf is independent of that. The shelf is on the other side of the handle, not the bottom side. Because, by the way, you have to retain this Ford factory shelf if you put a shelf in, because I don't know why they do this. The Ford factory shelf has the microphone for the hands-free. Well, that kind of makes sense. The lights, but it has the airbag circuitry plug in it. And so you have to unplug all that when you... we don't have to unplug it. I had to do it because I broke one of the tabs in the where the lighting switch is. So I popped it out, and one of the plastic tabs broke off, and I had to replace it. But through that, I found out that the airbag light and all that stuff is in that circuit. So Vespa, I don't think it is going it will not get in the way of the airbags. Here we go. That's a better view. So this is just a flap around the airbag of some upholstery, but you see this little cavity right here. When the airbag goes, it's a curtain, so it blows downward. This handle actually would protect it from the shelf that goes right here. But if you're gonna do a shelf, just keep it light. Insulative covers can go up there. Don't do what others have done and build like a wood box with a hinge and you can like loading stuff up in there. That's not smart. And when I talk about van weight safety in the course, I always point out that you need to make sure that you just think about possibly getting into an accident. How is everything in your van? Where is it going to go when you get into an accident? Have you mounted it in a way that it's bolted through the chassis so it doesn't go anywhere? So that's kind of a big safety item that I try to talk about. Guys, these are excellent questions. Yeah, I'll stay on here. I'm going to go let the dog out for a second, and I'll be right back. So give me some questions when I get back on the stream. in just a minute. Come on. All right, guys, I think that's it. We are going to end the stream tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back here tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bring your questions, and we'll see you on the next live stream.